wish I got you. I couldn't ask for anything better. When will I get it?
Probably like 5 or 6 years.
Why is it unloading? Hey, when it does that loading symbol.
You got all my photos?
Huh?
Did you get my photos?
Yeah. I thought Carolina had did the videoing because I asked her for the video. She goes, no, I did it on Adriana's camera. She has all the videos.
Wait, the video? Oh, yeah.
Why is it still loading?
Want me to take it off? Okay, pull it. I can't take it off.
Why is it still loading? Is the internet working here? Yeah, internet's working.
Please.
Let me unmute myself. Okay, my goal was I had 3 walk the park 2 times this week, do a pool day on Thursday, and 5 times of stretches. I did 1 of the 2 walks in the park, and I did 3 of the 5 stretches.
Very nice.
All right.
Really? So not the pool this week, but that's okay.
Nope, it was Mother's Day week, and my mother's grave is in the Bay Area. She's in Hayward. So we went out of town to spend the day with her at the grave, and then we celebrated Mother's Day here. So it was crazy week. But it was beautiful and perfect. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carmen. Adriana.
I didn't drink a gallon of water each day. I think I missed like 2 days, but I tried my best on that.
Well, that's pretty good. 5 days of a gallon of water. I'm impressed. Yes.
All right, Melanie, you're the last one.
I didn't hear.
Are really relevant when it comes to whether or not we're taking a certain medication. So thank you, Carmen. That's a good one. Yes. Others.
Some of them are harder to take than others. They're harder to swallow. Side effects.
Addiction. I
Negative
don't
side
ever
effects.
want
Worried
to take
about
a
negative side
medication that can
Carmen,
possibly
I see your lips
get me.
moving, but I can't hear you.
Right? So let's have an example. So this is on the right-hand side. Hopefully your chart looks the same as mine. So decision-making example. So the decision is, should I start this new medication? Okay? So here are some reasons to do it. My doctor thinks it might make me feel better. Okay? You like your doctor, you trust your doctor, so on a scale of 1 to 5, you give that a 5. Okay? What else? It could help prevent other symptoms. Well, maybe that's really important to you. You give it a 4. I might be able to do more in my life. This is something you've been really wanting to do, and your doctor says you will be able to do that. So you give this a 5. You add them all up, you get a 14. Okay? Now, what are the reasons to not do it? There could be side effects I don't want. Or you go, okay, that's a 3. Maybe I can manage the side effects with some other medication. Or maybe they won't bother me that much. right? So you give it a neutral kind of score. 3. You're already taking 6 pills and you don't want to take 7th. So you say, it's yet another pill I have to remember to take. Well, you know what? You have a whole class of people you can call to remind you to take your pills on time, or you can set timers, or you can just, have somebody in the house remind you. So, that's a reason to not do it, but it's not that significant. You give it a 1. It costs too much. I may not be able to afford it. And then you add up you look at your budget and you go, well, I go out to the coffee shop every morning and I spend $5 on a coffee. If I stopped doing that, I could afford the new meds, or some other rationalization you come up with. And you go, all right, it's a thing, but I'm pretty neutral about it. I give it a 3. It may not work. Well, maybe that's a 4 for you because you've had a lot of meds not work, right? You total them all up, you get 11. Okay, the pros were 14, the cons were 11. Okay, your head is leaning toward start the new medication. Okay, then you check in, look at the very last line, ask the question, does this meet the gut test? How does it feel to you to start the new medication? Right, just internally, your intuitive sense. Does it make you feel happy? Does it make you feel sad? Does it cause anxiety to contemplate this? Okay? If it does not meet your gut test, then here's what we recommend. Don't start the new medication today. Do the whole thing tomorrow or the next week. Just do this whole procedure again to see if your gut is still saying no. And if you do this 2 or 3 times and your gut keeps saying no, then we recommend you do not start this new medication, or you talk to your doctor who maybe recommended it in the first place, and then say to your doctor, my instinct is not to do this. Can you help me change my instincts so that I do? Okay? Now, if your gut says yes and your head says yes, then I would go ahead and recommend that you start the new medication or the treatment or the procedure or whatever it was your initial question. Bill, would it help to say to do things when you have renewed enthusiasm about them? And Jim?
I'll go.
All right, Carmen, then Jim.
I wrote 10 different things on here only because I want to have alternatives, plenty of alternatives, and it's a lot of important things that I really have been thinking of doing, but I'll say the top 3. Since I didn't get to do the pool therapy, and I could go any day because I have the membership, but the physical therapist is there on Thursday, so he said to come on that day to help me. So I'm going to try that once this week, which is Thursday. I have a confidence level of 8. I'm going to try going back to walking the cul-de-sac where I live. I'm going to do that one time this week. If I could venture out to the park, great. And then I'm thinking they have a lot of amazing YouTube exercises. In fact, Dr. Yun and my physical therapist mentioned a few. I'm going to at least try one new YouTube exercise, and I think my confidence level is a 9. And then I'll go down from there depending on how it goes.
Thank you, Carmen.
Excellent planning.
And thank you so much for your participation today. It's a pleasure to meet with all of you. I know life is challenging when you have chronic pain. But I just admire your stick-to-itiveness and your desire to live a better life in spite of the pain.
Yes, ditto.
Yep. So next class is our last class.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
right.
Yes, and I'm leaving on a trip on Saturday. However, they say they have Wi-Fi where I'm going, so my plan is to be here next week, and hopefully it won't be sketchy. I won't know till I get there, but I'll get there the whole day before, so I'll get a chance to check it all out. So I should be there for our last workshop. Yep.
All right. You might want to send out the invitation to the class while you're still in where you live.
That is a good idea.
Just in case you have sketchy.
I'm leaving on Saturday. So Saturday morning I'll send it out a little early this time.
Good.
instead of a little late. Somebody called me. Who was that nice person? Oh, Adelia. And then she didn't join us. I don't know what happened. Anyway, I'll check in with her and Lucy and see what's up.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a nice week.
All right, take care.
Mute, Carmen.
Okay, so one of the things I was going to do is walk the cul-de-sac here. Instead of that, I actually walked because we had a memorial service up the hill by the 10,000 Buddhas. So that was a half a mile walk, and I walked up the hill. I had a little trouble at the end, but I made it. So I did that. So I thought that was even better than walking the cul-de-sac here at my house, because it was actually a half a mile walk, and it was up the hill. Luckily, the days later, my back was still fine, thank God, because I was afraid.
Oh, wonderful.
So, and I also went to the pool therapy, like I said, and that was what I did for this week, among other things, but those were the two things that I wanted to do that I did. Other than the cul-de-sac, I actually did a hill walk, which was nice.
Wow, it sounds great. Sounds great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And the pain has not that horrible.
No, I was afraid because when I was bedridden last year, I had did the autism march here, which is just regular ground, and I couldn't walk for 4 months. So I was afraid to do a walk up a hill, which I haven't done in years, that would really not be a good idea. But it was a memorial service. So they were going to bury, it was on the reservation land, so they were going to bury some of the ashes in their burial up the hill, and I wanted to show my support, and I thought this was a great way to get my walk in. I don't know how high that hill was going to be, so at the end I was struggling, but I made it. So
good job.
I
Way
took it
to
as
go.
a success.
Yay. Way to go.
Yeah.
So glad to hear that. Okay, can you pick a couple of words that best describe your pain?
Yes, my pain, of course, I have different ones, so I'm like, Myra, I have to pick. But the biggest one has always been the sciatica nerve. That's what put me bedridden for 4 months last year. So it's a shooting pain, not a shooting pain. It starts off as a shooting pain from the lower back towards one side of my leg. And when it gets to the ankle area, it's just so intense, so strong. I would rate it like anywhere between an 8 and 10. On most days, probably a 9 when I get that pain.
Yes.
It affects my life because it stops me in my tracks. I can't do I love to clean my house. I love to organize it. I can't do that. I can't enjoy dinner or family time or watching movies with my family because I'm crying and I'm in so much pain that I can't even focus. So yeah, it affects me doing that. I love journaling and all that stuff, and it just stops me in my tracks, and I can't do anything, and it makes me sad because I start going down that dark hole where I think my family's gonna have to take care of me, and then, oh my God, is this ever gonna be over it? Am I ever gonna get past this? So I just start going. My mind starts going that dark hole, and I have to pull myself out of the hole. I have to talk myself back, and also I have to receive the love and support from my family that they're trying to give me.
Yeah.
So
for sure, absolutely. Well, so when you describe it to your medical provider, I mean, I think you described how the pain feels and what intensity and how it impacts your life very well. So that's what we're practicing, and it's really important because they're not mind readers, right? They need us to communicate with them. And then, of course, if it changes, if a treatment they've recommended helps even a little bit, or something you're doing helps a little bit, and impacts our pain in a positive way, then we want to let them know that too, so that they can be an active
Absolutely.
part.
Absolutely.
So thank you all very much for sharing that.
So the federal government has made it so difficult. The doctors are all at risk. The pharmacists are at risk. And I agree with Bill. Unfortunately, I'm only on Percocet, so I don't have to sign a contract. But it's taken forever to get even enough for me to get through the day. And I don't use as much as I could, as I'm allowed to. And it doesn't I'm 81 years old. Who cares if I'm addicted?
One of my gripes with my doctors is when they don't look at me.
And so we'll Charlie will talk with you afterwards about when we might do another. We don't have one scheduled, but you'll be invited to join us again. It's been a pleasure for me. And forgive me for leaving.
Thank you.
Early.
Jim, who's in our class but couldn't make it today, he says, I already want to take your next class. So we got one signed up. Well, not signed up yet because we haven't even announced it. But we've got one person already eager to take the class. So let's do a 10-minute break. My clock says 2:26. I'll see you at 2:36. Okay?
What we've just done.
Okay, what we just did, using our mind. Right.
Stretching.
Stretching, right. The whole Moving Easy program. Gentle stretching exercises.
Chunking activities down so that I don't get so tired.
I'm sorry, say that again, Myra?
Chunking my activities down, whether it's gardening or whatever, and resting.
Right. Resting in the middle of activities, breaking bigger activities down into smaller chunks. Right.
I think mental, this is what I think I got out of this class, is really encouraging our mind to relax, to think positive when we go to that negative space or that dark hole, that we know how to bring ourselves back out of it in a positive way so we can heal mentally as well.
Right. Remember we called it worst case scenario thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And how to get out of it.
Yeah.
And Carmen, you're absolutely right. We are all very well practiced in driving ourselves deep into those negative holes.
Mm-hmm.
And we can all learn to be very well practiced in getting ourselves out. The first thing is to notice that you're in a hole.
Yeah.
Then you can get yourself out. So
I think I'm going to continue setting these weekly goals. I really liked it. It has helped me a lot to get to know what I can and can't do. And it'll eliminate a lot of the fears that I have of, no, I'm afraid to do that because I'm not going to walk again. No, I'm afraid to do that because I'm going to have so much pain. So I think it'll eliminate a lot of my fears, and it'll let me know where I stand, you know, what I can and can't do. And it'll make me feel good to be successful at something and, you know, try to have a normal life as possible, to enjoy my family.
Yeah. Carmen, I think that is one of the most important things about baby steps, is when we accomplish a baby step, we feel success.
Yes.
And if we can add a baby step onto it the next week and we succeed, we build on success, and it encourages us. We are encouraged to keep taking the steps that we want to take to get our lives as good as we can make them, in spite of our diagnosis. And that's really the whole reason for the class. It's to manage our lives, to make them as good as we can, in spite of the fact that we have chronic pain.
Baby step theory.
Yeah, good. Yeah. That you have helped each other throughout all 6 of these weeks. You know, often you would bring up something and somebody else in the class had a suggestion for you. Whether it was useful or not, there is a group mind whenever we human beings get together with a common purpose. And we help each other. It's one of the great benefits of doing a class together and sharing what our goals are. Did we succeed or not? Did we partially succeed? And remember, that's how the action plan check-in works. And when we have problems, we have worked together to solve them. Like just today, we talked about our difficulties accessing healthcare, whether it's the difficulties with the doctors or the difficulties with the healthcare institutions. And we came up with some suggestions collectively. You can try those out. I'm going to do one final invitation for you to close your eyes, deep breaths. Imagine the breath goes all the way to the bottom of your abdomen. I want you to think about the progress that you've made over these last 6 weeks and the things that you've accomplished. Each week you reported on action plans, succeeding, modifying, completing them. You took time to explore new ways of using your mind. Ideas like distraction, relaxation, guided imagery, to deal with the rough spots on our path. We learned how to talk about pain. We talked about food and pain. We talked about ways of getting a good night's sleep. And ways of getting more physical activity into our lives. We talked about communicating better with ourselves, with our family and friends, and with our healthcare team. You shared your knowledge and experience, and you supported and helped one another along the way. And I want you to imagine that the goals you set for the next 3 to 6 months, you've accomplished. See yourself having accomplished them. And think about how good it will feel when you do. Take a few more deep breaths. And when you're ready, let your eyes open.
I got a pee so bad. I got a pee so bad.
I want to thank you all for being in our class. It's been a joy getting to know you all. I always learn when I work with people in chronic pain. And you have taught me things, and I hope you have taught each other things. Remember, the book is yours to keep. Use it as a reference, read it. Use the tools in the toolbox whenever they seem appropriate to use. Do the Moving Easy program when you need some simple, easy, safe stretching. Make action plans. Take baby steps. Don't forget to stay in touch with each other. And if you lose somebody's phone number or email address, get in touch with Susan or me, because we keep track, and we can send you somebody's phone number. If you lose it. All right, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Anybody have anything they want to say before I end the session? For now. Sorry, you can't see me, but I'm smiling.
Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Okay.